All right, we're recording now. So again, thank you, Haley, for presenting for us today on LinkedIn. So Haley Centrella is a college relationship specialist at ALKU on the talent acquisition team. She graduated from Keene State College in 2018. After a year of working abroad in Italy, she started with ALKU in July of 2020. As a college relationship specialist, Haley is responsible for planning, executing, and attending events, both virtually and on campus with student organizations, academic programs, and faculty to find the next best candidates to join the ALKU. So yes, you can find Haley at career fairs, which she was actually just at Penn State's Spring Career Day back on Monday. So you may have seen her there. She also does mock interviews, resume reviews, information sessions and workshops, sales competitions, and more. And her favorite thing about ALKU is the have fun working hard culture, which she exemplifies every day. So I'm sure she might tell you a little bit about that as well. So passing it on to you. Thanks, Haley.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate the wonderful introduction there. Hello, everybody. I just left Penn State this morning. Sad to leave, but really excited that we're still able to participate with you all today. Before we get started, I am going to be sending a link in the chat here. This is for you to fill out so that I can follow up with you, send you some more information. And if you participate, maybe even send you some swag as well. Since if we were in person, we love to give out ALKU branded stuff, of course. So please go ahead, fill that out. It's just your name, phone number, email, and your year. You don't have to worry about putting your resume in there if it is not on hand, but nonetheless, we will begin getting started. So leaning into LinkedIn. Now more than ever is the time to really be developing and actively on your LinkedIn. So hopefully today we can go through some great tips that will help you all jumpstart your LinkedIn. But first, I definitely wanted to tell you a little bit more about myself, about ALKU and what we do here, and then we'll dive into that LinkedIn content. And please feel free to throw questions in the chat. I love questions. Even as much as I love to hear myself speak, I definitely want to hear from you guys as well. Let me go next here. There I am. We can thank my wonderful marketing team for this great headshot here. They made it action, of course, but my name is Haley. I am one of ALKU's college relationship specialists. I started with the company in July 2020. And it has just been such an amazing journey ever since. Just recently, I was actually accepted into our Futures program, which is very exciting. That is our leadership development program, which is wonderful. So you can tell within a year and a half, I was really able to kind of get rewarded for my hard work and recognized, which is wonderful. My role is primarily traveling around to a lot of different campuses, colleges, of course. Penn State College is my favorite. I was so glad that I was able to spend a few nights there this week, and I cannot wait to get back on campus in a few months. Of course, you know, I've been around primarily the East Coast, but I myself am from Boston, Mass, and I reside in our headquarters up in Andover in Massachusetts. So excited to share with you all a little bit more about ALKU, which I love so much, as well as LinkedIn, which is such an important tool, and actually how I got this job. So I had met ALKU at the career fair my senior year of college. I moved abroad to Italy, as Stacy mentioned, where I worked in tourism. I was a tour guide for study abroad students all around Europe. 15 countries later, I was exhausted. I was ready to come back home. Once I arrived to the States, I was kind of going back to my job fair folder, right? I was looking at those companies that I had marked big stars off, and I went on ALKU's LinkedIn and I realized I had a mutual connection. I had a friend who worked there. She gave me amazing feedback on the company, how much she loved it, and was able to internally refer me to the company, which was amazing. You know, a month later, I was starting up, which was wonderful. So do not underestimate the power of this tool. And we're going to go through some great tips to make you all feel more confident in using it. A little bit about ALKU. We are a highly specialized staffing firm. We do primarily hire students that have some interest in sales. However, we hire based on character traits, which I know is definitely unique. We hire people that are outgoing, hardworking, motivated, reward driven to come join our team here at ALKU. Major does not matter to us. That's why I also love working with the liberal arts college. I went to a liberal arts college myself, and I think that you all are very well-rounded individuals and have those amazing soft skills that we are looking for. A little bit more about ALKU here. We have 7 locations in the US, as well as a virtual training center, which is a big hit for our state college students. I myself am from the Andover headquarters up here in Massachusetts. It's about 20 minutes north of Boston, which I love since I have a reverse commute. Every morning that I drive to work, I'm watching everybody else come to Boston with the traffic. And on my way home, it's the same thing, which is great. Andover is definitely our biggest office, and it also houses most of our corporate teams, things like marketing, operations, human resources, finance, you name it, there to support our revenue team, which is our sales folks. We also have an office in Charlotte, North Carolina, Franklin, Tennessee, and Herndon, Virginia, right outside of DC. Now, Herndon is the only office that is specific to one division, and that would be government. I am actually reporting live from there today. I drove from Penn State over to Herndon this morning. I got to see all my wonderful coworkers that I only get to see once in a while and have some lunch with them. And then I'll be flying back up to Boston this evening, which is very exciting. I'm sure you'll also see these little ALKUs as well. We have the University of New Hampshire Training Center, James Madison University Training Center, and UMass Amherst Training Center. So those give students an opportunity to work with ALKU while they're on campus. I'm sure you're wondering, okay, how do us state college folk get involved? And that's through our virtual training center. So we actually have a great handful of Penn State students that are actively interning with us and have even accepted full-time offers and plan to move up to Boston after graduation, as well as some of the other offices as well, which is super, super exciting. The foundation of ALKU is not only a strong work ethic, personnel development, clear expectations, definitely unique in the sense that we want people to bring their sense of humor into the workplace. I think that's one of my favorite parts about the company is really able to be myself and really enjoy the people that I work with. When I am excited and happy to come to work, which I am every day, I'm so thankful for that. I know that I'm going to be successful, productive, and get the job done. We treat all of our employees with respect and provide them with great opportunity to succeed. We believe that everyone from every background should be able to have fun working hard, which is actually our motto that we have trademarked. So I know it can sound a bit cliche at first. However, this have fun working hard mentality is the foundation of everything we do here at ALKU, especially within the staffing industry. It's definitely unique. And I really, truly believe that it leads to our huge success as a company overall. If anybody has any questions about ALKU, I would love to hear them now. And thank you, Stacey, for the congratulations. I'm just seeing that there. But if you are interested in any other questions about the company, I'd be happy to connect with you and explain more in detail.
And I'm monitoring Q&A and the chat, so I'll try to keep on that. Please feel free. Yep, please feel free, students.
Awesome. So if we can throw in the chat or the Q&A here, how many of us have a LinkedIn already?
Go ahead and throw that in the chat if you don't mind.
Oh, I see some raised hands. Gavin, hello. Awesome. All right. All the hands are coming through. Great. Well, if you do not have one now, you're going to want to hop on LinkedIn right after this workshop. Hopefully I motivate you to do that and give you some confidence in building your LinkedIn. So we're going to just dive in here. So setting up your LinkedIn profile. This is obviously the first step of beginning to develop your LinkedIn. As someone who has been graduated from college now oh gosh, for 4 years, I can tell you all that I am consistently developing my LinkedIn. It is a never ending cycle, and which is amazing, right? It's not just one thing that we kind of stick with. It's very active. We're able to really develop and express ourselves on this platform, which is amazing. So some of the really important things that you want to do when you create your LinkedIn is to upload a professional photo. If you don't have a professional photo, nowadays with these wonderful cell phones that we all have, portrait mode. And if you don't have a cell phone with portrait mode, I'm sure someone in your network does. Definitely get one of those on there. I love seeing photos. It really, is able to put a face to the name there. Add your industry and your location. If you do not have a specific industry that you're interested in yet, you can write student, right? Add in Penn State. Another small thing that really stands out and will be great to add to your resume is customizing your LinkedIn URL. It is very simple and easy. It should be right up in the top right corner, and you're able to make that a nice professional link. I have mine as my first and last name, and I'm able to put it right on my resume back in the day. Write a little summary. What's your elevator pitch, right? What makes you stand out? What makes you different? Maybe it's about why you chose Penn State, what you're studying, what you're potentially looking for, some of the character traits that you identify with. Those are things that we want to see. Of course, when you do have a LinkedIn, it's wonderful, but if you have a completely blank slate, what is that telling us, right? We see that you're on there, but we haven't gotten into it yet. So making sure that we're kind of checking off all of these boxes. Describe your experience if you have any, of course, right? Even things that maybe you did in high school as you're starting to develop and build your experience. I have tons of different experience on my LinkedIn, but it's really great to get in there and describe what you did, maybe your day-to-day, some of your responsibilities, some of your accomplishments. Add 5 skills or more. I know that every single one of you are special and unique, and you definitely have at least 5 skills. So get in there, whether it's time management, even a language, which I'm going to mention in a little bit as well. Adding these skills in there gives people an opportunity to endorse your skills, which is amazing. You can add PowerPoint, Microsoft Office, you name it. There are a ton, and it's really, really easy to get these done because LinkedIn actually helps you with it. List your education. State College is absolutely amazing. Definitely make sure it's known that you are studying there. And at first, connect with 50 plus contacts. I think one of the biggest issues that students run into, and even myself back in the day, was kind of being shy or embarrassed with LinkedIn, and not wanting to connect with others. That is the most silly thing you can do, and it's honestly hurting you, because you can connect with as many people as you're able to. You can even connect with the other members on this presentation today, right? Start building your network. They are in your network now since you all attended the same event. You have something in common, and who knows what they'll be to you down the line. Networking is so important. Your network is your net worth. And I know you all will start to realize that very soon once you approach the job hunt. And then turn on, let recruiters know you're open if you are actively looking for a job. As a company that is a recruiting staffing firm, we are always looking at this. Who's open on LinkedIn? Do their values align with ours? Do they have the skills, the qualities that we're looking for? So making sure if you are in the job hunt to turn that on there. Do we have any questions about these important things to include? Or does anybody have anything else that they've included on their LinkedIn that maybe I missed here that has been beneficial for them? Opportunity to earn some swag here. I'll give it a couple of seconds and then we'll move on. All right. Another thing, should you list your courses in LinkedIn? Of course, especially if you're really starting to build your experience and you're a little worried about that, you can absolutely list your courses in there, especially the ones that you're really interested in and feel strong in. And thank you, Jade, for participating. I appreciate that. One step also to do after this, add me on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. I'm always on it. Of course, as someone who is constantly on campuses, my LinkedIn is definitely a busy place. But nonetheless, it truly has gotten me into the position that I am today, just because I added a mutual friend, right? So making sure that you're adding people like myself, like Stacy, like Katie from the office, because down the line, you'll have no idea how wonderful that network could really benefit you. Awesome. Thanks for the question, Jade. So making your LinkedIn stand out. So once you have done all of those tasks, right, you want to make it stand out. Review other profiles. What's catching your attention, right? What do you see maybe some other colleagues or people doing that's really making them stand out to you? What makes you special? Now, this all goes along with your brand, which we're going to talk about next. However, this is your opportunity to let that shine. I know that each and every one of you are unique and special in some way. And I also know that self-identification can be difficult sometimes, right? Trying to say, well, I know that I'm super energetic, I'm very outgoing. Those are things that are hard sometimes to identify about yourself. If you're having trouble doing that, reach out to the people around you, your professors, your family, even though they may be a little biased, your friends, your teammates, your colleagues, and ask them, when you think of me, what do you think of? Who am I in this class? Who am I in this group chat, even on a simple level? But just to get you guys start to thinking about what your brand is and how we're going to portray that. Adding extracurriculars, hobbies, interests, languages is huge. When I am actively recruiting on LinkedIn and I see extracurriculars, their involvement in different clubs, organization, volunteer opportunities. I love also seeing languages. You do not have to be fluent to put a language on your LinkedIn. They actually let you rate what kind of area you're in. So you could be an elementary speaker, advanced speaker. I myself speak some Italian. I've grown up speaking it all through second grade to senior year and at home as well. And when I was living in Italy. So that's something I've listed on my LinkedIn profile as well, which I'm proud of. So definitely make sure you're adding those languages and those extracurriculars in there as well. You'll also see here that my screen on LinkedIn is extremely branded, right? That definitely stands out. And something that you may start to notice if you do add me on LinkedIn is that everybody at ALKU actually has a very branded LinkedIn. We love this. I think it's awesome to be able to see, right away, you see those A's in that red and you know it's ALKU, which is great. So making sure that you're adding those things in. And of course, I do have a lot of connections down here. I've also had a LinkedIn since 2015. Which is a little scary to say, but nonetheless, it's never, ever too early to start adding connections. LinkedIn is by far so helpful with creating, maybe people that you know, or your contacts, or things of that nature. And please, again, feel free to jump in with questions at any point. Be active. This is one of the biggest things. So it's not only just making a LinkedIn, doing all of those steps that I had listed out, and then just leaving your profile there, right? Making 50 connections and calling it a day. No, I think the most important part is to be consistent, be active. Whether it's something that you have to put on your calendar as a reminder once a week, spending 30 minutes scrolling through LinkedIn rather than Instagram or Facebook. I guess no one uses Facebook nowadays. But going through LinkedIn rather than doing something else, maybe once a week. Maybe it's something you remind yourself of. Maybe it's something that you do at the library in between classes. Interact with your network. I think this is extremely important. You can see my activity down here, and it shows a lot about who I am, right? As I said, I'm very energetic. I'm the biggest cheerleader you'll ever meet. I'm constantly supporting others and excited for things. We have our Calling All State College Liberal Arts students that I shared from you all, commenting on one of my faculty relationships there and saying, love to see it, Tim. We sent him a cooler for Christmas. And then congratulating somebody on accepting a full-time offer here at ALKU. But seeing that activity myself, when I see a student engaging on LinkedIn, commenting on their friends, post about accepting a job and congratulating them, that gets me excited. That shows me that they are also exactly what we look for at ALKU. So make sure that you are being active. Along with being active and liking, commenting, you want to make sure that you're posting content, right? Whether it's something very simple like a few sentences or a photo of campus, or maybe something that you are working on in a class or a project, the more content that you're posting, the better. That's straightforward. I think we all know that, of course. So kind of treat this almost like your professional Instagram, right? Make this your place to shine in a professional manner. Send messages when connecting with others. I think this one is definitely unforeseen, but super important. When you're connecting with different people on LinkedIn, it gives you the option to send a short message. That is going to stand out to them. Yesterday or Monday, I did a career fair with, speaking to over 100 students. And of course, I had over 100 LinkedIn requests. How many of them actually sent a message mentioning something about our conversation? Probably 15 or 20. Those are the first ones that I'm responding to, right? I'm seeing that message. They took the extra minute to add in a little message saying, thank you for meeting with me at the fair. So I know exactly where I met them. I know that we had the conversation, and I appreciate that they took the time to reach out and add a little message in there. It's definitely key for connecting. And then endorse your friend and colleague skills. This will definitely be something that you can do with your different classmates, your roommates, your friends, other people that you've worked with in the past, but going on their LinkedIn, seeing their skills and endorsing them. I remember when I started doing this, I just started endorsing people that I had worked with, their skills. They reached out to me, they were so thankful. And of course, they endorsed mine as well. So it's able to kind of come back to you in that sense, but definitely being active is very, very important. It's not just one thing to have a LinkedIn, but to utilize it is extremely key. Awesome. I'll move on here. So branding, I thought that this was very important to add within the LinkedIn area because you're branding yourself on your LinkedIn. That's what LinkedIn is for, is your professional brand. So what is the importance of branding yourself? Does anybody want to share in the chat what they think their brand could be to others, whether it's your colleagues, your friends, your teachers, what they think is your brand? I see Kata's hand raised. Kata, do you have an idea of a brand? That could be a character trait. Yes, Kata.
Sorry, it wouldn't let me talk, but I would say entrepreneurship, beauty esthetician. Yeah, I could put those two.
Yeah, I love that. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate hearing someone else. But yeah, your brand could be as simple as someone who shows up, someone who puts 110% in, someone who is supportive, and there for their colleagues, their friends, their family. That's on a small scale what your brand could be. But of course, as going forward and with LinkedIn, we're going to start trying to develop our personal and professional brand. And it all starts with our personal brand. Whether you guys like it or not, every single one of you on here has a personal brand already. You can have a different personal brand for each audience. But I always like to ask on a very simple level to get everybody's head spinning. What is your brand in your group chat, right? My brand is not answering my group chat because it's on Do Not Disturb, because I'm always on the road, traveling, busy with work. But when I am around, I'm the one that's constantly sending explanation points, right? I'm excited about things. Okay. So then, developing your personal brand is the same thing, whether your Instagram, your Facebook. I know that for me, my Instagram and my Facebook brands are extremely different, right? My audience is different. My audience on Facebook is a lot of my friends, family, my mom's friends, where my Instagram is more of my personal network that way. But be personable while still being professional. I think that this is extremely important. recruiters can see, can Google you all and see what is out there. So making sure that whatever you do have out there is appropriate is extremely, extremely important. I cannot stress that enough. Be communicative. So how you speak to others, right? Are you listening even? That's a big part of communication, is listening. And as you can tell, something that I like as my personal brand is my energy, right? Having high energy and kind of bringing that into different presentations and on campus when I'm traveling around. Being transparent and honest, and of course, self-identification. So this is what I talked about earlier, identifying your strengths and the things that you should work on. And if you're having trouble doing this, talk to those around you. Ask for feedback. How many of you have been interviewing recently? If you raise hands, I can see them. But, Jade's been interviewing. At the end of an interview, I know that it can be a little bit scary, but asking for immediate feedback is amazing. As someone, a recruiter, when somebody asks at the end of the interview, well, thank you, Jade, so much. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me today. Is there any reason why you don't think I'd be a great fit for this role? Or is there any feedback that you can provide me after our interview today? This is extremely important. I know some of us, even myself back in the day, was afraid of taking feedback. I take it personally in a way. But as we're maturing and we're starting to build our professional brand, getting feedback, taking it and working on those things is extremely important, which you will find when you enter the job force as well. Awesome. And if anybody has any comments or things that they've done to help with their professional brand, definitely raise your hand and we'll be able to add you in here. I love hearing your voices. So your personal and professional online presence, right? Making sure your LinkedIn is up to date, that you are being active on there, that you don't have a job on your LinkedIn that you no longer work at as your active place of work. Even your location, right? Say you move, making sure that you're updating that on LinkedIn. Your activity is public. This is a wonderful thing, as I mentioned before, but it's also something to be careful about. And the only reason why I bring that up is because LinkedIn, like any other social media platform, has some controversial topics on it. So making sure that maybe you're staying away from liking those things or engaging with it, with super controversial things, just because employers are able to see that, right? So we want to tread lightly there. But of course, you want to share your vision, your values. Apps on your phone. This is one that I added in here because I am personally a victim of this. I'm a photo taker on my cell phone. I have actually over 80,000 pictures. I've also had an iPhone since they came out, and I've continued my iCloud. However, in college, my phone was always full on storage. So I definitely slacked a little bit because I didn't have the LinkedIn app on my cell phone. If I did and I was getting notifications all the time rather than on my computer, I 100% can guarantee you I would have been so much more active on LinkedIn. So making sure you have all of those apps accessible on your phone. When you're scrolling through Instagram, as I said earlier, maybe you take a little break and jump on LinkedIn, see what's out there. The more that you're curious and you start to see different things, different industries, how excited people are in their careers, it's going to help you figure out your direction as well. I was someone who studied business management communications with focuses in finance and marketing. As you can imagine, there are thousands of different avenues that I could have gone down. But with the help of LinkedIn, I was able to see that something I was super interested in was connecting with students in campus recruiting. It was something I never heard of before until I looked on LinkedIn. So make sure that you guys are definitely being curious. You're adding different people maybe outside of the typical industry that you've been looking at. That way you can be exposed to different things. Utilizing college and company brand assets. You guys see how great my little LinkedIn looks up here with all those A's and it says from start to finish. It's extremely branded. Our company is amazing and our marketing team, shout out to them, is wonderful in making sure that the whole company is on board here. So we make sure to make headshots for everyone in the company. send them their little background piece here. That way we all look in sync on LinkedIn. When I'm scrolling through LinkedIn and I see a bunch of ALKU, it gets me excited, right? You know, people are constantly thinking, there's ALKU. That's something that stand out. That's our brand. So make sure that you're utilizing State College's, you know, brand assets. Get those things on the background of your LinkedIn here, or even take your professional headshot and edit it in with something in the background. I think that would be awesome. And it's definitely a way to stand out. You guys are a part of such an amazing, exceptional school that you should be having that very visible on your LinkedIn. So your headshot, your cover photos, even as simple as your email signature. I cannot tell you, I've gotten so many follow-up emails over the past 2 days from the fair. Seeing someone that has gone the extra mile of adding a very simple, you know, email signature. It's very easy to do, and I'm sure everyone in the liberal arts college over there would be able to help you with it. It adds such a piece of professionalism to these students that are emailing me. I love it, right? You can put your year, what you're involved in, and it's automatically just going to send. So I think that's something that we kind of underestimate as students. I did myself. I was like, I'm not important enough to have an email signature. That's not true. We want to see what you're involved in. It looks very professional, and it's something that's going to stand out when you're emailing future employers. Any questions here? Awesome. And I know that Penn State definitely has opportunities for you to get these headshots and these cover photos. So making sure you're taking advantage of that as well. Or even creating your own. Canva nowadays is a great tool. It also will show off your creativity, right? Maybe you take some things that you're proud of and you put them into a cover photo and add it to your LinkedIn that way. But your personal and professional brand is constantly developing, but making sure that you are actively aware of it is the most important thing. So of course, as I would love to have you all connect with me, I definitely would love to have you like, follow, and subscribe to Life at ALKU, whether it's via LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I actually have a professional Instagram myself, and I'm going to be posting about my time at Penn State soon, probably once I get on the plane. So definitely feel free to follow me. If you have any questions at all, definitely reach out, send me a DM. I'd be more than happy to, you know, jump on a meeting with you when I'm not traveling and discuss things like looking over your LinkedIn, doing a resume review, a mock interview. That is my bread and butter. It's what I love to do. So definitely utilize me as a resource as well, maybe even if it's something outside of ALKU. But I'd love to chat with you guys more about this. So if you do have any questions, we have some time here. I'd love to hear from you, or even some comments on things that have worked well for you all, since you're all developing your LinkedIns as well. And then here are some of our open positions. So we are actively hiring for an inside sales representative. You can see our 4 office locations here. And then our sales internship program. Our sales internship program is absolutely amazing. It is designed to lead to full-time. You are doing the job of a full-time employee, just on a smaller scale. You have the opportunity to be paid an hourly rate plus commission and bonuses. We are extremely flexible with the internship program. We are offering our internship program for the spring, summer, and fall. Spring and summer, we only require about 12 hours per week because we know that you're in classes, and of course school comes first. And our summer internship program is definitely more of a 40-hour-a-week full-time opportunity. I'm sure you're wondering, again, where can I do this on campus? Our virtual training center. We've had some amazing, successful State College students join our virtual training center even in their junior year and work all the way through till now. And now they're coming full-time in May after graduation, which is just so exciting. So we're growing our alumni here of State College folks. Down here in our Herndon office, we actually have 3 of them. So I was sure to bring them some souvenirs from my trip, but they'll also be coming back to campus next week for some SMEAL activities. So if you have any questions about these positions, I'm happy to answer them as well. And then here is my email and my title. If you need anything at all, definitely take down that email. I will say too, my Instagram is a wonderful way to get in touch with me and to kind of see what I do on a day-to-day basis in my role. And we are hiring for our corporate team. The positions just come up less frequently than our sales do. So it's definitely great to get in the pipeline that way. But nonetheless, I hope that you guys were able to take away some tips, tricks. I'd be happy to share these slides with Stacy so she can send them out to all of you, and you'll have that list of things that you can kind of check right off and do on your LinkedIn. And I'd also be happy to take a look at your LinkedIn. So if you want to email me with a link to your LinkedIn, I'd be happy to review it and offer some tips or guidance to improve it and kind of help develop it as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome, Haley. Thank you for putting that offer out there. That's really nice.
Of course,
So,
I'm happy
yeah.
to do it. And, I have so many people here that would be happy to do it as well. So if you're more comfortable speaking with someone who went to Penn State, which I wish that I had, I would be happy to connect you with someone here that would love to look over your LinkedIn.
And it's great too. So like, I know Haley had mentioned about like, State College area. And for those folks that might be World Campus students that
Yes.
might not be in the area, Haley is a great resource. Again, she's provided her email address in the chat, and of course, connecting with her on LinkedIn and other social media platforms, but will be a great opportunity for you to make that connection and network, even though you might feel like, oh, I'm not in person, right? Like, we're doing this virtually today so that we can be able to capture, folks that might be out in California, and anywhere with a World Campus degree. So I wanted to also plug, I mentioned about next week being our virtual recruiting for liberal arts students. And that's also a great opportunity for World Campus students as well to be able to do this since it is virtual. We do have, as of right now, this very moment, we have one spot left for meeting with ALKU, and it will be somebody that is Haley's colleague, Nick, but he will be, I'm sure, a wealth of information, and just get 20 minutes to meet with Nick, and that will be at 10:50 in the morning next Monday, the 31st. So that is open as of right now. You can go into Nittany Lion Careers, just search in for information sessions. This is what it's listed for under the events section, and you can just type in LQ and be able to see that opportunity. And we can, if you're interested in a waiting list for a certain time slot, we can certainly try to get you in for that as well. So, okay.
Yeah, of course. And I did just want to mention again, if you are interested in learning more about our opportunities and you fill out this link, you will receive an email tomorrow with some more information and direct links to apply, meaning that my internal recruiting team here will know that you guys came from this event, which is awesome. So thank you so much, Stacy. Thank you to everybody and